I'm gonna try and find the leak on the passenger side. I can't get in there to see it. I had a bit of an epiphany the other day when I was sitting here with a friend showing him what I'd done, and I think I know how to get the chairs out. So when I was taking out the benches, underneath the far bench, I found these tire irons. And if you can see the shape in there, little did I know at the time, that's the exact same shape as what I need for the chairs. I tried them, they fit. I don't remember which one, I think it's the larger one. Oh, I can't even get it over that. Maybe it's the smaller one after all. No, it's definitely the larger one. I think that's just sliding around it. Yeah, it's not actually grabbing it. Darn. Okay, I'm not sure how I'm going to get that off then. Where the seat belts under the benches were, it does fit and turn on those. That was a bit of a failure. The bolts from the chairs, the large tire wrench fits, but just sort of spins over top of them, so it may be too large. And the small one doesn't fit. The bolts for the seat belts, the little tire iron does fit over them, but they sort of spin in place. They're not really coming out of the floor like I need them to. So, sort of back to square one on that. from just doing the sweeping and tidy up, moving back and forth in this space, I've hit my head or caught it on two things more than once. This light, terrible spot. It's, well, I mean, I hit my head on the ceiling here, but it comes down just enough to catch me, and it's really annoying. So that's going while I work on this. I don't want that there. The other thing is these wires that are hanging down. That came down because they were the wiring that comes out of the battery and the engine. There was a light here in the middle, and it runs over to where the bathroom was as well. You can see that there. So I want to just keep that up. I'm going to put another screw or nail in here to try and keep these up and out of the way so I'm not catching my head on them constantly, and I'm taking that light down because it's driving me nuts. Actually, I'll go back one. Nothing hanging down. I don't know if you can hear that meowing every so often. That's my cat. Right there. Perfect time. Hope you could hear that. Anyways. Okay. Well, that plastic was clearly falling apart. What? Do you want to come up here? You cannot. There's nails and screws and stuff everywhere. You goofball. Okay. Come say hello. Come say hi. No? Now you don't want to talk? You don't want to talk now? Hmm? Who's that? I'm going to scream outside. Back up at the front, I'm going to see if I can get under this plywood. Can you see that from that far away? So there's a seam here between two boards right there. And there's plywood on top of that that ends right about there. You can kind of see the difference in the grain and whatnot. So there's a bit of plywood that ends here, and there's two boards that meet in the middle of this for some reason. So I'm going to try and get the plywood off the top of this frame. I don't think it's going to work very well, but I'm going to give it a shot anyways. One of the ongoing problems that I have with this being an older vehicle is that the oil fairly consistently drips from the engine itself. I think you can see there is a puddle there of engine oil, So when I bought this from the gentleman I bought it from, he recommended 10W30 engine oil. This does say diesel, and there's a reason for that, even though it is a gasoline engine. Because it's an older engine, there is something in diesel engine oil that is not in gasoline engine oil, and I believe the gentleman said it was some sort of zinc-esque compound or something, or maybe it was just zinc, that is added to diesel engine oil that's not in gasoline engine oil. And it's important for older engines to have that, whatever that substance is. Engines that come from the same area as this vehicle need that in the oil to help lubricate the engine properly. So, gonna throw some of this in, top it off a little bit because it is fairly low and it has been draining for a while. So I'm gonna see if I can add a bit to that, and I'm gonna run it for a little bit today because I gotta keep it running consistently so that it doesn't seize up, and make sure that I get some of this oil fed through it before it runs out. This also gives me a chance to look at where I sprayed before to get rid of some of the rust. So you can see there, it's coming off. It is helping to get rid of some of that rust, so I'll have to come back and scrub that. It's definitely coming up off of there. Looking a lot better. Same around here. And this bit, it just has a bit of an oily finish over it now, so I'm gonna have to clean all that up, or at least reread what I sprayed on it. Make sure that if I have to clean it up, that I do that. What is this? Okay. I don't know if there's a good spot to sit the camera down here, but I'll see if I can. It's a bit dirty and covered. I don't know if you can see it on there, but it does say engine oil. So you know that I'm not putting it in the wrong spot. Oh, I'm gonna need a funnel or something for that. That's not gonna work well. Hold on. I need to buy a funnel. I don't have an actual funnel at the moment, so I'm gonna use this makeshift. I'm gonna sit this somewhere else. This might actually be too large for this. And all it really has to do is give it something to run down into that. Perfect. Yeah, it's going in. Okay. There we go. Ow. These wires are snug on here now. There we go. Okay. So I didn't fill it up all the way because I want to make sure that I'm checking my oil gauge here to see if it goes up and actually works. It was sitting down around, it was sitting somewhere around the 20 mark before, somewhere around in here. Let's get this started up. Probably won't start on the first try, but that's all right. Get that brake on. If it even starts. Kind of need to have it in park when I push this down. It was not in park. Good. Get that. There we go. She starts to idle high. You just listen to that for a second. And if I push on the gas, okay, see, she kind of gets stuck high, and if you push the gas down, it sort of releases and she idles lower where she should be. I'm filming this bit at the back of the RV simply because the engine's running and I want it farther away so you can actually hear me. But I've got it running and I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what it sounds like, what it looks like. I've taken the cover off so you can see what it looks like without that on, looking down into the engine, what I'm dealing with at the moment. I've taken the engine cover off and I've got it sitting here in front of me. And what I'm going to do next, I've run the engine, shown the oil is taking, there's more going in, put a little bit more in after I ran it, checked it again. It's looking like it is going up and it's actually keeping oil. So it is a very slow drain. Might be able to fix that, might not. From what I've been told, it is fairly common in older engines for them to drain or lose a little bit of oil over time. So I've got the cover for the engine here. You can see the block itself, where that goes around here. And in this, all of the old insulation. So, plastic cover that goes over and latches on, and this bit of nasty, crusty old insulation over top of it. I'm going to peel all of this off, throw it out, and I'm going to try and use those other panels I have to put around the interior in here, along this wall and on the top, so that when that goes back on, ideally, less sound and less heat coming through the block to the cab area. Gross. So dusty. Next piece. This is the car sound deadening mats. Wow! From Kill Mat. I don't know. Got them off of Amazon because someone online said they were good for deadening the sound in the back of some sort of van conversion. So I'm not sure they're going to work quite the same way on here, but I'm going to find out. English, please read the instruction carefully up to the end. This is really important as the efficiency of soundproofing doesn't only depend on the material used, but largely on the installation sequence as well. Wow, that's not great. Sound deadener, stationary knife or construction scissors, ruler, slash something or other, degreaser, roller, cloth for wiping. I don't have any of that stuff. Well, that's a problem. So I won't be installing these at the moment. That's what that means. However, ooh, they're sticky. I don't know if these are even going to work. No, they're supposed to be on flat surfaces, so... Oh, they're very thin. So interesting. I don't know how that's going to work. But I guess I could cut them to go strips in between. I'm just going to need to scrub this thing down because it is gross. So I could cut strips in the middle in these sections. That'll probably work. I'm going to put this back over the engine loosely for now. See, it's not hooked on. It's not quite lined up at the back. I'm going to leave it like that for now because I will be getting back to that soon. I want that out of the way because my next problem is right where it was sitting. Right here. These screws that go through the top of the plywood into the frame below, where this whole frame is what needs to come up off the ground for me. So I've brought my actual drill out, the one that is powered and not my hand screwdriver. Oh boy. Oh no. Well, that completely stripped. That didn't work. I don't know how I'm gonna get that piece out of there.